Welcome back to the Armchair Meddler, where I bring you news videos, usually of a sensational nature, and I give you my opinion, even though you didn't ask for my opinion. That's what makes me the Armchair Meddler. So today we're going to take a look at a video where this man was in a shootout with police. It was a domestic abuse call, and unfortunately, two police officers lost their lives. So let's not delay, let's get into the video.
Team coverage tonight on what we're learning about both the victim and the suspect in the tragic death of those two El Monte police officers. Let's start with Fox 11's Gina Silva.
Well, Alex, Christine, the city of El Monte is in mourning. Losing two officers at once is just too much to bear. Here outside of the police department, you can see it is growing. This memorial, people all day long have been coming by, dropping off flowers and candles, saying a prayer for the officers and for their families. We'll speak with them in a moment. But first, we did obtain dramatic video that shows the shootout between officers and the killer. Take a look. This is the gun battle that erupted outside the Siesta Inn in El Monte. Officers engaged in a shootout with this.
First of all, I want to say that I just can't imagine being in that sort of situation, shooting it out with someone with that many bullets flying around. That's something that most people will never experience. Mostly it's going to be soldiers involved in war that experience that. Not even all police officers experience that. But I just imagine that your heart has to be pounding and your adrenaline is rushing, because just watching that, I'm just amazed by that. Just hearing shot after shot after shot, and the officer moving around on the screen, and one of the officers, it looks like he doesn't really have cover, and wow, that's just pretty intense. But let's get back into the video.
5-year-old Justin Flores. Investigators say he had just shot and killed two El Monte police officers who responded to a domestic violence call.
Okay, so something that I want to add is that law enforcement, they always say that domestic violence calls, or responding to a domestic situation, is the most unpredictable, because you never know what might happen.
And Corporal Michael Paredes.
I am so deeply sorry.
Diana Flores is the suspect's girlfriend. Her mother called 911 saying her daughter had been stabbed by her boyfriend.
My deepest condolences for saving me. I'm so sorry. They didn't.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, I'm just wondering, okay, why is she with this guy? Why was this guy her boyfriend? Okay, I understand that she's apologetic, she's sorry, but obviously her relationship with this felon, okay, because he had a long arrest record, known gang member, had been in and out of prison, was out on a gun charge. So why is she with him? If not for her being with him, one could argue that these police officers would still be alive, but why do you want to be with a thug? All right, let's continue on.
That or their families.
After the suspect was no longer a threat, officers rushed into room 103. They brought out the two injured officers, put them on a police cruiser, and rushed them to the hospital. When the officers succumbed to their injuries, the entire El Monte Police Department and family of the fallen officers walked to the coroner's office.
Okay, this is just so sad. Extremely sad. Just the families having to march, or walk, I should say, behind the coroner's vans that are carrying the bodies of their loved one, the family, and they had little kids. Both of the officers had little kids, and this is just heartbreaking. If you're watching, you've lost a loved one, you know, whatever means that you lost your loved one, that's tough enough. But to actually lose them in this manner and then to walk behind a van that's carrying their bodies, I just can't imagine. This is just very heartbreaking. Let's continue on.
Here in Almani, we haven't suffered a loss like this in about 50 years.
Outside the El Monte Police Department, the memorial for the fallen officers keeps growing. People have been coming by throughout the day to pay their respects.
I was really saddened yesterday to hear the news. It really hit hard. They were just doing their jobs and how this turned out. And it's just a community to come together. I just felt I needed to come and support them.
Just nothing but shock. And I'm just so sick and tired of officers getting shot. We need a change in our, just to have more respect.
Officer Joseph Santana was new to the El Monte Police Department. He is survived by his wife, 9-year-old daughter, and 2-year-old twins. Michael Paredes had been with the department for 22 years. He is survived by his wife, son, and daughter.
Okay, that's just tremendously sad because these children now are going to grow up without their father just because some hot-headed gang member decided to abuse his girlfriend and they got caught in the middle of it. So, I mean, that part is just really sad.
Broken. El Monte has lost 2 great police officers in this city. We are a tight-fit community, and I just can't even describe what we are feeling right now.
Yeah, so many of you watching, I don't know if you know about El Monte, but El Monte, there are some really, how do I put this? There are some really tough neighborhoods over there. Okay, you don't want to drive down the wrong street in El Monte. Okay, there are some bad areas over there. Not putting down the people who live there. I'm just saying that they have a lot of gangs over there. Just not a place that you want to make a wrong turn down the wrong street.
Very somber day here at El Monte.
Governor Gavin Newsom issued the following statement. Jennifer and I join Californians in mourning Corporal Paredes and Officer Santana, 2 brave public servants who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Their tragic loss is a painful reminder of the risks our women and men in law enforcement face every day, fulfilling the oath they were sworn to uphold. And back here live, you can still see that people are still here after 10 p.m. They're still saying prayers for the officers and their families and bringing flowers. This entire community has shown their love for this police department. Alex, Christine, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the second part of this because apparently they're going to go more into the background of this gang member who killed the police officer. So we're going to take a look at that.
Coming together, Gina, thank you. For some people, the tragic deaths of the 2 El Monte police officers are fueling the campaign to recall LA County DA George Gascon.
Our team coverage continues. Ed Lascos, who has that part of the story. Ed?
And Christine, once again, the office of the embattled LA County District Attorney George Gascon forced to defend its sentencing guidelines that some charge should have left the El Monte gunman behind bars instead of behind that deadly shooting. Here's why. We are learning more now about the gunman who shot dead by police after he killed 2 El Monte police officers. He's ID'd as 35-year-old Justin William Flores, a known gang member with a long rap sheet, who's on probation for a felony with a firearm, his second strike, and yet he avoids prison time through a plea deal reached last year with the LA County DA's office.
So when horrible crimes and tragedies happen, the first thing most of us are thinking about Was this because of George Gascon's policies?
That following a more lenient sentence of probation for Flores instead of prison time. It's the policies of the LA County DA George Gascon who refuses to prosecute and fully charge.
Okay, I just want to say that this district attorney in Los Angeles, LA district attorney, he's quite controversial because he's known for giving very very light charges, dismissing charges, that sort of thing. And apparently, this guy, what he allowed this gang member to get by on this charge to be let out, apparently resulted in the death of these police officers. So let's go ahead and roll and get some more information.
Strike cases. Critics of Gascon say if Flores would have been prosecuted under the normal California three-strike procedures, he would have been sentenced to prison time, meaning he would have been behind bars and not at the Siesta Inn motel involved in that deadly shootout with police.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those police officers would still be alive, going home to their families. Now you have widows with fatherless children. Once again, I feel really bad for the children and condolences to the families. Let's continue watching.
Follow the law, policies where you look at all the evidence, policies where you consider public safety. This individual should have been in custody at least for 32 months.
But DA Gascon's office defending its decision to place the convicted two-strike felon on probation instead of sending him to prison, calling it a consistent resolution at the time. Check this, quote, last year Mr. Flores pleaded guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm, a felony. The sentence he received in the firearm case was consistent with case resolutions for this type of offense, given his criminal history and the nature of the offense. At the time the court sentenced him, Mr. Flores did not have a documented history of violence. This latest development adding to the growing firestorm surrounding the DA Gascon and his
Okay, so they said that this guy Flores didn't have a documented history of violence. I have no doubt that this guy was a violent man. Okay, I don't know how it's not documented, but yeah, this guy was a violent man. But anyhow, this district attorney Gascon, he's actually going to be facing a recall. There's a petition right now. I believe they have all the signatures that they need. So I think there's a good chance that he's going to get recalled, and it's because of him seeking these light sentences on serious criminals. So let's continue on with the rest of the video.
Sentencing policies. The Gascon Recall Committee now out saying it has reached its goal, collecting more than the 566,000 signatures needed, and they say there's still 3 more weeks left before the deadline. Once all the signatures are certified, it would let the voters decide if Gascon should be recalled, and as some charge, restore public confidence in the DA's office.
Enough is enough. We want public safety here in Los Angeles. Doesn't mean we can't have reforms, but we can't do that and also sacrifice public safety.
Now live, all of those signatures gathered so far in the recall effort amount to 10% of the registered voters in all of LA County. Social media also very active on this issue, with many tweeting out saying those sentencing guidelines must change, or as some tweeted out, the DA himself must be changed. For now, we're live here in West LA. Back to both of you we go.
Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's video. A bit heartbreaking. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Also, if you can, give this the thumbs up, turn on your notification bell. Once again, I'm the Armchair Meddler. We will see you on the next video. Peace.